So the second way that you can get things into your feed is by connecting Blink into a third-party application. And that's really where the power of Blink starts to come from. When you've got your 7 or 8 different work apps that you use every day, putting their actions and their information into the Blink feed, you no longer need to context switch, remember different passwords, open up different applications, almost none of which will work on your mobile. And you've got everything you need in one place, whether you're at your desk or you're on your phone. And most people, let's be honest, are doing this stuff when they're on their phones. So this is where Blink puts the power in. And there are 3 ways that you can connect Blink to other applications. You can write your own stuff. You can use our API and our SDKs to connect anything you want into the Blink feed. I'm not going to go into how to do that here. The second way to do that is to go into your profile, head into the integrations page, and connect Blink simply by authenticating it with any of these applications that we work with by default. So connect it into Office 365, that stuff's dead easy. Just click add, you'll start seeing your calendar and all that stuff appear. The same for Dropbox, Google, approve things in Jira, sign off stuff in Salesforce. You can do all that easy enough. The third way to do it is to use a piece of software called Zapier. Now what Zapier does is it connects different web apps together, and Blink has a Zapier app, and you can configure it very, very simply to put any of the apps that Zapier work with, and there are thousands, take that data and put it into Blink, make it actionable and make it easy to use. So I'm going to show you how to do that now, and the simplest way that I can think of doing that is by showing you a to-do list app. So this is an application called Todoist. It's got nothing to do with Blink, and I've got 3 projects set up in Todoist. I've got some ideas, I've got my kind of team to-do list, and I've got my personal to-do list. And what I'm going to do is set it up so that when each one of these is completed, when something from this project is completed, my productions project, I'm going to send an update into Blink to say that that's happened. So this is how you do that. So first of all, you go into Zapier, which is this application at zapier.com, and you make a zap. So what it's going to want to know is what's going to trigger the action. Okay, so that in this case is Todoist. So we select Todoist. You can see here it's referencing this app, and I can say when I complete a new task, that's going to be my trigger to do the next step. And you can see the zap building up on this side. So what's the trigger and what's the action? So there we go. Which Todoist account do I want to use? That one. So it's the one that I'm already logged in with, which is really useful. Now it's asking me to pick my project. So you'll see here that my Pear Tree Productions project, which is there, is available to select. So it's going to look at everything that's in here. So I'll click continue, and then I just need to do a quick test where it's going to go off to Todoist. As AP is connected to Todoist, brought some data back, and the test has been successful. So that's great. So that's my trigger done. My trigger is there set up, simple. Now what's my action? Now my action is going to be Blink, because I want to send something into the Blink feed. Now when you search for Blink, you're going to get one option back. Because I'm doing this on a demo, I know that I need to choose this one. Everything from here on in will be exactly the same. So here's Blink, and I want to post to the feed. So currently, this is what my trigger looks like when a task has been completed. Do something in Blink, and that something is what we're configuring here. We're saying post to feed. I'm going to use this account here because that's the one I'm logged in with. You'll only have one account to choose from there. Now this is the cool bit. So this is where you get to build the card and show what the card's going to look like. So if I go back to Blink and you look at these cards, these are all individual cards. So what we're doing at Zapier in this second stage where we're picking the action is we're building up, here are all the options for what that card can look like. And we're going to start really, really simply. So I'm just going to give the card a title. I'm going to choose whether I want to post to a team or an organization. So let's say a team. And when we click down, Zapier is going to connect to Blink and show me my available teams. So Pear Tree Productions team. Then I'm going to give it some text to say action has been completed, and I'm going to use this thing which is a field, and what this does is it connects to the connecting to Todoist, and it's going to show me all of the fields from the Todoist task that I could include in this text. So I'm going to give it the content type, so that when my action comes through, it's going to say the action has been completed, and it's going to give me the name of the action. So that's kind of where you get the variation from. And that's it. That's literally all I need to do. So I'm going to send that in, and we'll do a test. We'll make it appear, and you'll see what that looks like. So I'm going to send that test in to Blink. And when I go back to Blink, you'll see that the card has come through. Now, it looks pretty unimpressive at the moment. There's no real context around it. We don't know what happened. There's no actions I can take. But that's literally how simple it is to get the very bare minimum of a card going into the feed. So let's go back to Zapier now, and let's edit that card, change what it looks like to make it look a lot better and give it a bit more use. So if we head back to this section here, you can see this is where the action is, and this is posting to feed. So if we click on Edit Template and go back to Template, let's do 2 or 3 more things to make this card actually useful in Blink. So we're going to scroll down, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to configure an action URL. And what that means is, when I fill that in, when the card comes through again, it's going to have a button on the bottom of it that does something, that takes me to a link. So what I'll do here is I will choose a particular link here, and I'll say that I want it to go to, and I'll say find the link to task, copy that to my clipboard, head back to Zapier, and I'll paste that in there. So I now know that this URL is going to take me to the Get More Chocolate Oranges task. So if I delete the actual specific task ID off there, and I add in the ID from Zapier, that means that it's going to take me to that link every time. It'll be the correct link on the end. So let's do that. I'm also going to add an header icon URL. So effectively, all I'm going to do there is quickly copy a URL from the internet, put that in there. I'm going to pick a color for the ribbon on the side of the card, because let's make this stuff look good. And then I'm also going to add a second button to the bottom, which is going to take me to a particular conversation. So if I click on this, I'm going to click the Pear Tree Productions conversation. So the 4 things that I've done there, just to very quickly recap: I've created a button with an action on it. I've created a second button that's going to take me to a conversation. I've added an icon so that you'll be able to see the card will be branded and you'll know what application it's come from. And I've added a little slice of colour down the side, and we'll see what that looks like now. So I'm going to hit continue. And then right at the bottom here, I'm going to be able to find the retest button. So when I click retest this step and send the test through to staging, you're going to see that the card starts to become more useful. So what we've done now is we've gone from this fairly basic card, which took a couple of minutes to set up. We've invested another couple of minutes in it, and it's now become super useful. Because if I want to see the details about that action, I can press open, and it takes me straight through to the application, and I can see the details, I can engage with it, I can add comments, or I can actually discuss the action, and I can jump in, which takes me through to a chat, and I can say, and we can discuss it. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of information on how to get stuff into your feed. My name is Paul Fletcher. I lead customer service at Blink. Connect me on Blink, ask me any question you want, or check out our help page at help.joinblink.com, and yeah, crack on.